Welcome to another wee cycle. This time it was just round and in and around rather Kilmartin, which is full of historical sites, castles, stone circles, etc. Quite a fascinating place and a place I always wanted to stop and have a look around. Before I got down to Kilmartin, I was actually coming down the eastern shore of Loch Awe, and I always wanted to stop and have a wee look at that Innisconnell Castle. It's on a wee island just, as I say, off the east shore of Loch Awe. So I just sitting and drawn up and have a quick nosy around. I noticed a couple of people in the castle there that had obviously come over in a kayak. Hope I didn't disturb them. Anyway, just a quick view of this before I get down to Kilmartin.
With ancient songs it seems to know a mellow dance through fading light, a rhythmic pulse to hold the night. The mossy stones, the brook's caress, a gentle love, a sweet finesse. Her voice ascends, a haunting hymn, carried by the forest's limb. Feel the calm, the hush, the sigh. The moon ascends into the sky. Its mellow glow, a map it weaves through softly rustling autumn leaves. The maiden's tune, so pure and clear, echoes through the evening sphere. A rhythm born of earth and time, softly sung a prayer in rhyme. The glen is humming soft and low, with ancient songs it seems to know a mellow dance through fading light, a rhythmic pulse to hold the night.
So this is me just going up from the car park at Carnassary Castle towards the castle. I ended up turning off before the main bit that takes you up to the castle. Didn't really know, I was just trying to figure out a route. But I visited the castle at the end of the day. So as you can see, stunningly beautiful day. And this, I was just making this particular, this is a turn off. You should actually carry on if you're going up to the castle. So I turned off anyway, and as I say, I was just making this up as I went along that day. I noticed on the map there was a route, a kind of circular route that's mapped out, so I used part of that during the day. Anyway, upwards and onwards.
Yeah, thanks. Hello, buddy. Hello. Hiya.
We're just coming up to one of the cairns. This one is just outside of Kilmartin, and yeah, these cairns are dotted about everywhere. As you'll see, I passed a number of them, as well as stone circles and the like. So I sent the drone up just above it. I mean, it is obviously just a pile of stones, but you know, some of these were burial cairns. Some of them, I'm not really sure of the history behind some of them, but they're obviously built way back in the day, and they had significance. Some of them further down, you see, do have entrances to you know, where people were buried, etc. in them. And it's quite a stunning landscape, this, all around Kilmartin. It really is. Anyway, I'll let you just have a wee nosy on the drone. And then after that, I just got on the bike again and went down to the next one, which I think was a chambered one. This one, can't remember now if this had chambers in it, but there certainly wasn't like an obvious entrance in this one, and from what I could see. So again, this is us at the next cairn down, and I thought again I'd put the drone up. This one's a wee bit more structured than the other one, and you can see on the top, it was closed. I don't know if you can open these things or not, but I wouldn't imagine so. But they have entrances on the top. Whether that's the way they always went in, I'm not too sure. But it is just, like I said before, it's an amazing landscape, just full of all these, it's either stone circles or cairns or cysts and whatever else. I've never quite seen a landscape that has so much in it, all in a relatively small space. There was loads of things that I didn't even go and see. Markings on rocks and stuff where kings apparently were meant to have been crowned. But there's just so much history in that area. It's absolutely fascinating. And I only scratched the surface of it that day, to be honest. This was just an initial explore. I will go back and try and tick off many more of the other kind of archaeological and historical sites. But as a day, you know, just pottering about on a bike in the sunshine, and again, no midges, no clegs, just it was heaven. This time of year, early April, as it was here, is just sometimes the best time of year when you get weather like this. So this stone circle is found in a bit called Temple Wood. Again, things not very far down the road from that last cairn I was at. This one's set in a small wood. Just amazing.
How you doing? Hello fellas, guys and girls.
So the cyclist I'd said hello to a few minutes ago in the video there had told me about this house he recommended to go and visit, and I looked it up and it was called Paul Tallich House, and this is it you're seeing now, the drone shots here. It was some building, it really was, quite a checkered history. I think there was a fire in it that eventually kind of destroyed it, and the roof was taken off, so they didn't need to pay tax, and once the roof's off, well, nature takes over. Got a feeling it was in either the 30s or the 50s this was left, which when you think how, relatively short time ago, it's incredible how quickly nature's taken over. Anyway, I think this was originally built on proceeds from the slave trade, so as I say, quite a checkered history. There's probably quite a lot of big houses here, all over Scotland and Glasgow and Edinburgh, where from these kind of funded from the money from slavery really, and I think it was the sugar plantations, etc. Anyway, it's lying in rack and ruin now, but it's quite a place to visit and well worth it if you get a chance. Go in it at your own risk, because it's an extremely dangerous building and a dangerous place to be. Anyway, hope you enjoy having a wee nosy about via the drone. Anyway, this is me just leaving the old Tallich House grounds. It took me a wee minute or two to find my way out. According to the map it looked simple, but I think, as I found out a wee bit later, a tree had fallen and kind of hidden where the track left. Eventually I found it, as you can see here, and I was going to make my way down, basically down to the Crinan Canal.
Yeah. Someday, yeah.
As we came down this farm track here, we soon meet the road that's going to take us along to the Crinan Canal. Just a wee B road, a nice wee small road, flat as a pancake, all the way to the Crinan Canal. And it's a very straight bit of road as well. At the bottom of this road, just as we're coming to the Crinan Canal, there's a wee hamlet of houses that you'll see, and it's just a beautiful wee spot. It'd be lovely to have a house down here.
Ah, yeah. Didn't want to scare you there. I stopped just down here by the Crinan Canal. It's a lovely wee spot. I even stuck the drone up for a couple of seconds before somebody in a house just behind these old boat houses, I think they are. Somebody in there took issue with me putting up a drone. It was nowhere near his house. It was actually flying out over the canal. But you know what? I'm not there. I'm not here to antagonise anyone. And if he didn't like it, that's fine with me. I just took the drone back down, which I think is the thing to do. I know myself sometimes when I've been out and about and a drone's been flying over my head, it can seem quite obtrusive, and there was no way I was ever going to fly up over his garden or anything like that. Anyway, I just took it down and That's the best way to keep the peace, really, and I can understand these feelings.
All right.
Once that sheep got out of the way, I'm just heading along, back along that wee road. As I say, it's flat and very straight. Some people might think this is kind of boring going along these areas, but I just loved it. It was beautiful. Absolutely. Obviously, it's a stunning day, but the light was lovely, and I like all these areas, whether it's mountains or whether it's flat, whether it's straight roads, mountainous roads, I don't care. You're outside, you're in the good weather, and, what's not to like? So I was just rolling along. Basically, what I was going to do now was just head back, slightly different way, back towards Kilmartin, and then up to where I parked the van at the castle car park. I'm editing this video in the second week in June. Now, the last few weeks, late May into early June, have been absolutely horrible. Well, just not June-like weather. Wet, windy, pretty miserable. And it's just when you're watching, back on these videos, we had some great weather. We actually had great weather in March, April, and most of May. And you just very rarely get a chance to get used to it, but it was actually really lovely. And then June comes along, and we're back to the normal weather in Scotland. And I'm hoping, as I do this, that some more of this type of weather is coming along. Those few months were fantastic. No midges, nothing. It was really, really good. And now looking back at this, I am so missing it and hoping that it's going to return.
Hiya.
been such a beautiful day, and just when I came in out of the sunlight, came into the shade, it was a wee bit bitter. Didn't last long, I was soon back out of the shade into the sunlight again, just enjoying it so much. Kind of heading past a quarry at this point, before I can slowly climb up back towards the castle. As I say, this whole area, I can't recommend enough. It's a area I haven't explored properly in the past, but it's definitely an area I'm going to come back to and go a wee bit more. Full of history. I mean, I only scratched the surface. I really did. There's things dotted around, as I said earlier, all over the place. But yeah, just lovely being out in the sunshine, basically, as I get back into it now. And yeah, heading back up to the castle, and this time I did go for a wee explore, as you see, all the way through the castle. It's quite a spot, as you'll see in a bit.
Hello, pal.
So we're almost back to the castle here, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go up and have a wee look. I didn't do it earlier in the day, as you saw. I went past that. I did have the drone up over it, but there's nothing like actually going and having a wee nosy at these things yourself. And by the time I do get up to the top, you'll see some great views. Took a couple of photographs. Met somebody actually walking around the castle as well. I took a kind of unorthodox way here. I thought this was the path up to it, and it wasn't really. There was a path that went round the side. I really should have looked at the map. So yeah, this is Carnassari. Actually, I think I just said that wrong. Carnassari, something like that, castle. I'm sure I said it right earlier on. But here it is. I had to climb over a wee wall the way I went, which is a bit silly. I could have got round to easy and a much better path. But it's funny when you're walking about these places, just thinking about the life of people living in it at the time. And I always think it'd have been amazing to see what it was like back in these days. Probably would have lasted 5 minutes and get my head chopped off or something by somebody, but yeah, quite a place, and you can get inside it, as you'll see. Anyway, enjoy your wee look around it and the views from the top. And that was it, that was the castle. You can see the path I should have come up, but no, I chose to come my crazy way alongside this wall, through the trees. But yeah, once I got over this wall, I went back down to where I'd left the bike and the trees here. And that was more or less my day over. It was just a case of just taking the bike down the hill to the car park, and the end of a fantastic day. And of course, as with all my videos, I stretch them out even longer. You've got some photographs to look at the end. And listen, if you've got this far, you may as well have a look at the pictures. Thoroughly enjoyed my day, and I have a few videos actually I've to put up that I've done over the weeks of April and May. And yeah, it was just like I said earlier, a fantastic run of weather, and I was very lucky in as much as I was able to use that weather and get out as much as I did. Anyway, we cycled down to the van at the end of a fantastic day. Thanks for joining me. And I never say this, but if you would like to give me a wee like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. That's if you've got this far. And if you've got this far, then you're obviously a die-hard. Anyway, I hope you enjoy these. It's just like, it just lets you see bits of the countryside and explore them with me. And if you ever get the chance, do it yourself. Here's the
Hey mate, see you later on. Aye, see you after.
Once again, guys, thanks so much for watching. And as I usually say, if you got to this point in proceedings, then you've done incredibly well. I do tend to make feature films overdo it. I just can never seem to be able to leave stuff out. I just want to show everything. And, well, I hope you enjoy it. And if you got to this stage, you must have. Thanks again. Cheers now.